Hello. In this video, I would like to introduce the OnePlus Open review. I trust that this video is very useful for all of you. When you have already watched the video, you know about OnePlus Open clearly and it helps you in making a decision to choose a better smartphone for your work and lifestyles. I am introducing to you the detailed OnePlus Open review that is important, especially verdict at the end of the video. Please kindly enjoy watching the video as following. OnePlus Open, the company's first foldable smartphone, is here. The Open introduces one incredibly clean design, two superb Dolby Vision OLED screens and three Hasselblad-enhanced cameras on the back. And that's just the beginning. Let's meet the OnePlus Open. Design, build quality, and handling. The OnePlus Open is among the best designed foldables. It has great looks, it provides a great grip, and its build quality is outstanding. Let's start with the frame and chassis. They are made of proprietary cobalt molybdenum alloy and titanium alloy. According to OnePlus, these aerospace-grade alloys are stronger than stainless steel, yet lighter and more robust. The frame is flat and thin and has a matte finish. Then comes the hinge, lighter and allegedly up to 50% thinner than some competing solutions, probably Samsung Folds, thanks to a new streamlined design with fewer parts. Its single-spine architecture, versus three-spine on competitor, has made this new hinge quite light too. The external display is protected by a new glass called Ceramic Guard, a proprietary solution with ceramic crystals that is supposedly 20% more impact-resistant than the Gorilla Glass Victus. The rear panel on our Voyager Black versions seems to feature a plastic layer covered with black or green vegan leather. The texture is really nice, grippy enough, and fingerprint-resistant. The Emerald Dusk, aka green version, which will be the only one sold in Europe, has a matte glass back instead. And because the glass is usually thicker than plastic, the Emerald Dusk version is 6G heavier and a hair, 0.2 mm, thicker than the Voyager Black. The foldable display has the usual ultra-thin glass layer, with a plastic protector on top that keeps the vulnerable flexible screen from the usual dangers like dust and sand particles. It is not recommended to peel off this layer. Finally, the OnePlus Open is IPX4 rated for splash resistance. Having seen how this IPX4 test is done with multiple nozzles rotating at 360 degrees and spraying low-pressure water all over the device, we can safely say the Open is waterproof enough even if it wasn't rated for water submersion. And now, let's take a closer look at the OnePlus Open, shall we? The huge 7.82-inch foldable OLED screen is a pure joy. It is a heaven for people who like using more than app at a time. The web browsing experience is superb, and so is gaming. It appears to be super bright and of accurate colors. It spreads side to side, but it's not bezel-less as there is a plastic border surrounding it. The screen has a small punch hole in the top right corner for the 20MP inner camera, and it's the only distraction. Another thing to note is that we couldn't feel the crease on the OnePlus Open's unfolded screen. We had similar experience with the foldable Finds by OPPO, but it is even better on the Open. The crease can be seen at a right angle and light, of course, but the only way to feel it is to press harder. If you are only scrolling and swiping, you won't be able to tell you are going through it. Nice. In the Open's closed state, you will be using the 6.31-inch OLED at the front. It has reasonably thin and even bezels, rounded corners, and a small punch hole centered around the top so it can accommodate the 32MP front camera. There is also a thin outlet about the screen. This is your earpiece. It has more components, but we will talk more about the speakers in a bit. This cover screen has the perfect size and 20:9 aspect ratio to serve as a proper primary one. And that's not all, it is also of high resolution, dynamic refresh rate, quite bright, and supports Dolby Vision as the inner display. There is no underscreen fingerprint reader on the Open. Instead, OnePlus has put a conventional always-on scanner on the surface of the power/lock key. This is on the right of the Open in both folded and unfolded states, so it's best used with your right thumb. The alert slider is also on the right side, now a bit smaller, but with the same robust feel, tactile feedback, and superb texture. It has 3 positions: ring, vibrate, silent. The top of the phone has 2 speaker grills, a microphone, and an IR blaster. One of these outlets is a secondary for the earpiece. Both play sound when you are watching movies, listening to music, or gaming. The bottom of the Open has the primary microphone, the dual SIM tray, the USB-C 3.1 port, and another 2 outlets. Only the one next to the port outputs sound. The other grill could be a heat vent, or have another purpose we are oblivious to, or it just serves a pure decorative purpose. Finally, let's look at the gorgeous back panel of the Voyager Black model. It is covered in nice vegan leather and has a huge round camera housing that juts out a lot at the back. Inside the camera plate you will see the 48MP primary, top, the 64MP periscope 3x telephoto, left, and the 48MP ultra-wide/macro camera, bottom. There is a subtle Hasselblad logo around and a multi-channel color temperature sensor. A single LED flash sits outside this large camera housing. The Voyager Black OnePlus Open measures 153.4 by 143.1 by 5.8 mm when open and 153.4 by 73.3 by 11.7 mm in closed state. It weighs 239 grams. This makes it a bit thinner than the Fold 5 and about 14 grams lighter. Then we have the Emerald Dusk version, which is 153.4 by 143.1 by 5.9 mm open and 153.4 by 73.3 by 11.9 mm closed, with a weight of 245 grams. The OnePlus Open turned out to be a beautifully looking smartphone, captivating with its digital camera-like design and vegan leather back. It seems OnePlus has put a tremendous effort into its build, and you can not only see it, but feel it, too. The Open offers an excellent grip and handling experience, and it feels premium in your hand whatever you are doing. Overall, an excellent job from OnePlus. 2 great OLEDs, one is foldable. The OnePlus Open has 2 excellent screens with LTPO3 OLED panels, a 7.82-inch foldable primary and a 6.31-inch cover auxiliary. The 2 are not only full-fledged displays but also offer similar premium features such as 10-bit color depth, dynamic 120Hz refresh rate, 1440Hz PWM dimming and 240Hz touch response. Both screens have a maximum brightness of 1400 nits and a peak brightness of 2800 nits. They both support HDR10, HDR10+ and Dolby Vision. Natural tone adjustments depending on the ambient light are available on both, too. The foldable screen has a resolution of 2440 by 2268 pixels or 426 ppi. Its aspect ratio is almost 1:1. This screen is advertised as the more dynamic one, capable of going all the way down to 1 Hz. The cover display has an even higher pixel density, 431 ppi and resolution of 2484 by 1116 pixels. Its minimum refresh rate is 10 Hz according to the official specs. We've completed our display tests, and the numbers are solid. We measured 595 nits of maximum manual and 238 nits of maximum auto brightness. The cover display numbers are similar, 566 nits for manual and 159 nits for automatic brightness. The minimum brightness for both screens was just 1.9 nit. Battery life. The OnePlus Open is powered by a 4805 mAh battery. It has LTPO3 OLED screens and runs on the latest available Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset. We have completed our battery life tests on both screens, and the results are great. The Open offered over 15 hours on its large foldable screen in both web and video scenarios. When closed, the Open clocked over 18 hours of web browsing and video playback on its cover display. The call time is also impressive at over 29 hours. So, with an average standby of 250 hours, the OnePlus Open scored a total endurance rating of 96 hours for its large foldable screen and 105 hours for its cover display. Charging speed. The OnePlus Open supports up to 67W fast wired charging, and it will ship in most markets with a 67W Super VOC charger. There are other markets, like India, where the phone ships with a more powerful 80W Super VOC charger even if the phone doesn't support 80W. We received the retail box intended for India, which includes an 80W Super VOC charger, though, as we mentioned, the phone maxes out at 67W charging. According to the official press materials, the OnePlus Open should go from 1% to 100% in 42 minutes with the supplied charger. It recharged 45% of the Open's battery in 15 minutes, while another 15 minutes will get you to 80%. And 42 minutes is exactly the time it took for the Open to go from 1% to 100% in our test with the 80W adapter. Battery options include features like power saving mode, improved standby, put some apps to sleep automatically, and optimized charging. Optimized charging allows the Open to adapt its charging curves to your charging patterns, mostly related to overnight charging and your sleep routine, so it minimizes the time the battery spends at 100%. It will charge quickly up to 80% and will then only finish things off just before it thinks you're going to need the phone. The optimized charging can be off, all day on, or enabled just for overnight charging. There is no wireless charging on the OnePlus Open. Speakers. The OnePlus Open features a Dolby Atmos system with 3 speakers and support for spatial sound. 2 of the speakers are placed at the top, and the third one is at the bottom. The second speaker on the top is actually the earpiece and is weaker compared to the other, symmetrical, too, but it helps for the Atmos and spatial effects. OnePlus has assigned speaker roles for when they are playing in portrait orientation. The top left speaker serves as a left channel, while the top right and bottom right one play the right channel. If you rotate the phone at 180 degrees, the logic will remain the same. In landscape orientation, the output is adjusted to match the orientation of the speakers. In any case, each speaker will still output some of the opposite channel, but at a much lower volume. The OnePlus Open scored an average loudness mark. Its audio quality is very good with some bass, great vocals, and well-presented high frequencies. Oxygen OS 13.2 on top of Android 13. The OnePlus Open boots Android 13 with the latest and foldable compatible Oxygen OS 13.2. Excluding the multitasking options, Oxygen OS is nearly identical to OPPO's Color OS that serves as a base for all BBK launchers. Yes, that also includes Realme UI. OnePlus is promising 4 generations of OS updates and 5 years of security updates on the Open. Furthermore, the phone has passed TVSD 48-month fluency test with an A rating, which means the OnePlus Open should be as fluid as on day 1 for a 4-year period. Performance. The OnePlus Open is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, the standard version. This SoC has 1 by 3.19 GHz Cortex-X3 Prime Core, 2 by 2.8 GHz Cortex-A715 heavy hitters, 2 by 2.8 GHz Cortex-A710 medium cores and 3 by 2.0 GHz Cortex-A510 power saving units. The Adreno 740 GPU is in charge of graphics, and it surely is among the most powerful mobile GPUs on the market right now. The Open uses 12GB LPDDR5X RAM and 512GB UFS 4.0 storage chip. OnePlus promises a good heat dissipation system that will properly cool the chipset, display, cameras, modem, and other major heat sources. Here is hoping. 3 high-end shooters on the back, 2 selfie cameras. The OnePlus Open has 3 major cameras on its back, a 48MP primary, a 48MP ultra-wide/macro, and a 64MP telephoto camera with 3x optical and up to 6x in-sensor magnification. There are 2 selfie cameras in dedicated punch holes on both screens, a 32MP imager inside the cover and a 20MP shooter inside the foldable display. The primary camera on the Open uses a 52MP Sony LYT-808 sensor, a sensor of Sony's new LYTA lineup, which comes with the latest stacked architecture similar to Sony's current flagships, the Xperia 1V and 5V. In fact, according to Hardware Info apps, it's reported as being the same identical sensor used by the Xperia's IMX888. It is a 52MP multi-aspect sensor that outputs 48MP effective resolution in 4:3 aspect ratio. It has 1.12 pixels, and it sits behind a stabilized, OIS, 24mm f/1.7 lens. The new LYTAA sensors are an upgrade over the Xmirror's sensors as they use a stacked structure. What's stacked in this case is that the photodiodes and their corresponding transistors sit on 2 separate layers instead of next to each other in a conventional manner. While requiring micron-level alignment accuracy, it has also meant the photodiodes are now larger, collecting light twice as well and also up to 3 times higher saturation levels. The transistors sitting on a separate layer have also been optimized, which has resulted in a cleaner signal with less noise. The 4.3:3 multi-aspect sensor has a larger area than the mainstream 4:3 sensor, and this can be used to improve video stabilization. The ultra-wide camera relies on a 48MP Sony IMX581 1/2.0-inch sensor with 0.8 pixels. It is coupled with a 14mm f/2.2 lens. Autofocus is available, and so is macro photography, starting from just 3.5 centimeters away. The telephoto camera is quite interesting. It uses a 64MP OmniVision OV64B 1/2.0-inch sensor with 0.7 pixels. There is a periscope here, 70mm f/2.6 stabilized lens, OIS, for 3x optical zoom. Furthermore, this camera supports up to 6x lossless magnification via in-sensor zoom. The 32MP selfie camera inside the cover screen has an OmniVision OV32C 1/3.14 sensor with 0.7 pixels and a quad Bayer filter. The lens is 5p 22mm f/2.4, the focus is fixed. Finally, the inner selfie camera packs a 20MP a 1/4 sensor with 0.7 pixels and a quad Bayer filter. The lens here is 4p 22mm f/2.2, and the focus is still fixed. All rear cameras support 4K 60fps video capturing with always-on EIS. 4K 30fps Dolby Vision option is also available. The selfie cameras also support 4K video recording with always-on EIS, but they are locked at 30fps. There is no support for Dolby Vision capturing here. Video recording. The OnePlus Open supports 4K 30 video capturing with all 5 cameras. The primary, ultra-wide, and telephoto can also do full HD and 4K at 60fps, while there is no 60fps option for either selfie shooters. There is always-on electronic stabilization available across all 5 cameras, and it works great in all resolutions and frame rates. OnePlus Open also supports Dolby Vision capturing at 4K 30 with its rear cameras. Finally, audio is always captured stereo with 256 kilobits per second bit rate, and the quality sounds excellent. The competition. The OnePlus Open launches at €1,800 for its one and only 16 GB per 512 GB version, which is a bit lower than the Galaxy Z Flip 5's launch price. It is shaping up to be the first truly global competitor to Samsung's Fold hegemony, and it's looking promising. The Open is an incredibly well-built smartphone with top-notch specs across the board and a super versatile device serving as a phone, a tablet, and a portable camera. And it just excels in everything. The OnePlus is going to be available in the US, in the EU, excluding markets with an active OnePlus ban, Asia, and more. No other foldable has had this large reach since Samsung's Fold series. Unfortunately for OnePlus, the Galaxy Z Fold 5 can be found with a 30% discount across many retailers, which makes its 512 GB model about €400 cheaper than the Open. The Z Fold 5 trumps the Open with S Pen support, complete IPX8 water resistance and wireless charging capabilities, plus it has an under-display internal camera, which is cool. But its cover screen is not that convenient with its 23:9 aspect ratio, its screens are not as sharp, it doesn't offer high-quality zoom beyond 3x, and there is no support for macro photography. Oh, the Open is also thinner and lighter. We can argue the Open is the better designed and executed foldable smartphone if stylus support is not necessary. The OnePlus Open is an identical smartphone to the OPPO Find N3, which launches in more colors and for a cheaper price at €1,650. As far as we can tell, there is only one difference between the two models besides the colorways, and that's the IPX4 splash resistance that is present on the Open, but not on the Find. We guess this could explain the price difference. There is also a good chance the two models will never be sold concurrently on any single market. Finally, the Huawei Mate X3 is as thin and light as the OnePlus Open, but just like the Fold 5, it does support styluses and is completely waterproof with an IPX8 rating. The Mate X3 has an inferior Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 4G chipset, and its selfie cameras are quite basic, but its main setup delivers outstanding photo and video quality across the board, and it has longer 5x optical zoom. The Mate X3 costs the same as the Open in Europe, and if you are fine with the Gbox solution for Google's apps, you shouldn't have any problems. Still, the Open feels like the smarter choice. Our verdict. The OnePlus Open is a great addition to the foldable segment, one that has everything to make the Galaxy Z Fold 5 sweat. The Open has a classier and supposedly sturdier design, it's thinner and lighter. And it became evident it has better displays, both are of higher resolution, higher color bitrate, and support Dolby Vision. The Cover One also offers a much more convenient aspect ratio. The OnePlus Open runs on the latest available, at the time of writing, Snapdragon chip, and its cooling solution and software optimizations make for a nicely stable performance with no harsh throttling or frame heating. We also found the battery life of the Open to be great, no matter if it was closed or open. The charging speed is more than adequate, the 3-speaker Dolby Atmos experience turned out good, too. The Hasselblad cameras are thoroughly impressive with natural rendition and overall impressive photo and video quality across the board, day and night. We are particularly fond of the selfies, portraits, and close-ups shot with this setup. The two dedicated selfie cameras are average at best, the cover selfie cam has some haziness, too. But we don't see these used for actual selfies, their main purpose should be video calls anyway. Finally, the Oxygen OS 13 is incredibly feature-rich and highly customizable, while the foldable exclusive Open Canvas multitasking is super clever once you get the gist of it. OnePlus is promising 4 years of major Android updates and another one of security patches, too. The OnePlus Open is not the perfect foldable, even if it came very close. It doesn't support HFR gaming, the cover camera captures hazy photos, but the most frustrating thing we experienced was the camera app avoided using the actual telephoto camera for zoom photos at night, which is a shame as it snaps superb photos. The OnePlus Open is an excellent alternative to the Fold 5 if a stylus is not a must and if you don't plan on taking it underwater. And it has presented itself as the more versatile and higher-spec smartphone. Yes, we enjoyed this OnePlus, both open and closed. It is one of the best combinations of a smartphone, tablet, and camera phone, and we highly recommend it, especially once its launch price has settled a bit. Pros: outstanding design and build, IPX4 splash proof. Excellent foldable OLED, 120 Hz, bright, color accurate, Dolby Vision. Superb cover OLED, 120 Hz, bright, color accurate, Dolby Vision. Good battery life, fast to charge. The Dolby Atmos 3-speaker setup works quite well. Flagship-grade performance, dependable stability. Impressive photo and video quality from the rear cameras. Superb portraits and selfies with the rear cameras. Feature-rich software, great for multitasking. Cons: no HFR gaming. The cover selfie produces hazy photos. The tele-camera should fire more often at night. No stylus support. Thank you for watching. See you next videos.